Yeah, I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you're fine, and we are live now. Welcome to all the viewers to this edition of Nutrition Nectar Fresh from My Garden. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have with me Mrs. Sudha Malik, and she is an expert in multiple things, and gardening is one of them. And in fact, when we just before starting this program, we were just chatting, and she said how she has today prepared raw papaya sabji, and the raw papaya came from her garden. So she's going to be telling us a few things about her garden. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box as always. Before we begin, let me introduce Sudha Malik to all of you. She graduated from JNU Delhi, that's the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi, in Russian language and interpretation. She has worked as a freelance Russian interpreter for 18 years. She was always interested in working out and got interested in yoga after attending a yoga workshop in Bangalore in the 90s. Then she decided to do her yoga instructor's course at the Vivekananda Yoga Kendra in Jigani in Bangalore. She also did Ashtanga yoga training in Mysore later for 3 months and an Ayurveda course for 3 months, which changed her life. She has been teaching yoga in schools and hospitals in Delhi. She has also been conducting yoga classes from home for individuals and groups. Thanks to yoga and Ayurveda, she got interested in growing what we eat. Her interest in gardening started around 30 years ago. She did a kitchen garden course, and now gardening is her passion. Welcome to the program, Sudha. It's so nice to have you on my show, and we're really looking forward to listening to what you grow in your garden and how you use your garden produce.
Thank you, Sheila, for having me on this show. And I'm quite excited because I'm looking forward to, showing off my garden as such and also talking about it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. All right, my first question to you is what grows in your kitchen garden?
Um, Basically, I just grow things which, you can harvest easily. By trial and error, I've now stopped growing things like bhindi and beans and all, because you need a huge quantity of it to be able to, use it for your own kitchen itself. So I grow more of greens like sag. So in summer I grow chilai, amaranth, or dantin soppu, and palak, and sometimes even gongura. But in winter, I have mustard leaves, I have methi, fenugreek, and then I have palak, and lots of lettuce and rocket leaves, and so more of herbs and everything. But tomatoes, yes, lots of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and the others. And
Wonderful. Can we
this,
show the photographs to the viewers, please?
yeah, sure, go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. Just give me a moment. I'm going to share the screen because I have the screen share and the slides with me. So
So this
here
is the
goes.
first time that I actually experimented and had peas and cauliflower, which turned out pretty good.
Okay, so these are your tomato plants.
So these are the tomato plants, and actually, frankly, except for the dried out one, which is in the middle, the others have all just come through the compost. Whatever we put in our kitchen garden waste, it goes into our compost, and that's what I've got the others from. And the tomato seeds are also all from tomatoes which came home, and I just scooped out the seeds. I didn't buy any seeds specifically for this. So just scooped out the seeds and put them in the soil.
That's interesting. And these leaves here don't really look like tomato leaves. What are these?
No, that's lettuce. That's lettuce. Okay. So you'll also see shoots of spring onions here next to the lettuce down below.
This one?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this time I also, read somewhere that, with tomatoes, you can put other vegetables, especially lettuce and spring onions and all. And I think it turned out pretty good because, they thrived better instead of, I mean, uh, just standalone pots of lettuce. I put lettuce in almost every this, whether it's in my basil pot or it's in the spring onion and lettuce together, and it's done pretty well.
Okay, great. So these are your spring onions.
Yeah, this is the spring onions and the garlic. And again, the garlic, I just took one pod and took out all the small pods in it and just put them in the soil. And the spring onions, I had got a packet of Madras onions, and I just put, the onions in the soil because I like the greens of the onions rather than the onion itself. Because I wouldn't get a very good harvest of onions. You need a lot of land for that. So I just snip off whenever I want the greens to put in various things, then I just take it out and use it.
Okay, great.
And this is asparagus. This was like, I'd got it about my 4 or 5 years back, and I just put the seeds. And then I read that asparagus takes 3 years to be able to harvest. And last year it was wonderful because I suddenly saw the asparagus coming up, and I was so excited. And then this is, of course, now dormant because like it when I took this photograph, it was dormant, and just used leaves for mulching it. But um, I have a video in which I've shown the asparagus where the stalks are coming out. So now I'm getting asparagus as such. So it's, like I get quite a lot. So
Okay, let's move to the next one.
and this is celery and lettuce. Now the lettuce actually you can't make out here, but these are the red romaine lettuce and the celery. Both these I got the stalks from the market because I didn't have it at home, and I just put the root part of it into the soil, saying, "Let me see how it came." It'll come up, and it's come out wonderfully because now I can harvest this itself whenever I want a celery stalk. I just take 2, 3 and I use it. And this lettuce is a more recent thing. So I think, till unless if we get very hot summer, then it might not come. But otherwise, it should give me at least a few leaves.
Okay, these two little things here
Yeah,
look like
these are the
lettuce
lettuce.
leaves.
That's the
Okay,
lettuce. Yeah,
all right.
that's the lettuce.
Interesting. Okay.
And this again is fennel. Fennel I had got to make something, and then I just took the root and I put it in the soil, and it's sprouting, but it's not been very healthy. And the other one is the red pepper plant. So red pepper again, red pepper which I had got home, I just took the seeds out and I used it for getting new plants.
That's interesting. So this is the fennel, right? This little
Yeah,
one behind.
yeah.
And these three are the red peppers.
Red peppers.
Okay, nice.
And this is to the extreme left, you have Thai basil. Thai basil is a little sweeter than the Italian basil or our tulsi. Tulsi is very spicy. It's got a spicy tinge to it, while the Thai
Right.
basil has got a nice flavor and it is sweet, and the lemongrass. So the Thai basil also, I got this, plant from my aunt, and this is about 15 years back. And after that, I've never bought it. It's just that the seeds come and I put it, and Thai basil grows profusely. You don't have to do anything also, and it'll keep coming. And lemongrass also, once you have lemongrass at home, you can, it just multiplies on its own.
Okay. So is the Thai basil going over the railing here?
No. The pot is right next to the railing.
Okay.
So
all right.
it's grown tall. That's all.
I see.
So and this is the Italian basil. To the left, you can see one which was left and it had the seeds. So I just took these seeds because in winter they die out, And so I just took the seeds and put it in 2, 3 other pots. And then recently I saw that it's all sprouted. So I said, very good. Now I don't have to worry. I'll have lots of Italian basil also.
Oh, nice.
And that is chives. Chives again, it's wonderful just to use the leaves for, you could put it in anything, in salads and omelets. And it just adds a nice, a taste to it. And I've had these chives plants again for now the last 5 years. And every winter it's it looks dried out and dying, but then it comes up again, revives on its own. And to the extreme right is the green chilies. You can even see one tiny green chili there.
Is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so green chilies, again, because we don't consume too much of green chili. So whenever I want one fresh green chili, I just take it from the pot. And this again was an experiment of putting 2, 3 plants together in one pot. So I put pak choy and I put lettuce and spring onions. And you can even see there's a tiny piece of chives growing also, because I said, suppose it doesn't come in the other pots. So I put it in here also. So it's worked out pretty well. So that's.
What is this whitish color?
That the pak choy now it's yellowing, the leaves are yellowing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because now it's the season is getting over for it, because it's become pretty hot in Delhi now. So it's flowering also, you can see. So now what I'll do is 1 or 2 of these pak choy plants, I'll just let them flower and then give me seeds. And then I harvest the seeds for the next season. The same with lettuce also. So I don't buy the lettuce or pak choy every year. I just use the seeds that I have. I store them and use them afterwards.
Yeah, it's very interesting how you have 3 different varieties of plants in one pot.
Yeah.
And it looks so pretty.
Yes, it looks very nice.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So this time it was an experiment. I grew peas because I said, let me see if I can grow it. So it was, a good experiment. We got lots of peas and they were very sweet. But I think I need to grow it in more pots if I want a larger quantity, So I might have got 250 grams at one time, which even for a family of 2 people is not enough.
Yeah, by itself,
yeah. So, but and then I used it in a mix kind of vegetable. So then it was okay. And methi again, I have I making in the roti atta that I make. In the flour, I mix the methi and I make rotis with it.
Okay, interesting. All right.
And these, you can see the carrots peeping out and the radish.
There are 2 of them here, I think, right?
Yeah. So I just take out, when I want 1 or 2 of them for the salad or something, or for a sabzi, and the radish also. And I also
can see a radish coming out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice.
I use the leaves also of both the things, carrots as well as radish leaves for making sabzis.
Great.
And this is spinach. The spinach is, it's been already harvested, so that's why it's looking very sparse. But we get quite a lot of spinach. And this the extreme right one is a lemon tree. Now this lemon tree, we had given a cutting to a friend, and then in their house it had grown so profusely, and she had got lots of saplings. Her gardener had made more saplings, so she gave me a few saplings, and she gave me so many that I didn't know what to do with them. So then I put one on the terrace as an experiment to see if it will come. But lemon trees, as it is, they take about 5 to 6 years to give fruit. So this one hasn't given us, it's been now with me for 3-4 years, it's been there. But as of now, I haven't got any fruit from it.
So you have to wait for another a year or 2.
Yeah, or I was thinking that maybe I'll transplant it and put it in a bigger pot, a wider pot, because right now it's in a deep pot, but it's very narrow. So
Okay.
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, sarson ka saag, mustard leaves. So when I make sarson ka saag and makki ki roti, I always use these leaves. And I don't buy from outside. That's enough
Wow.
for us
That's
at
great.
home. And this is the lettuce and arugula or rocket leaves.
Mm.
Now, lettuce, see, now this one, I put only lettuce in the pots. So you kind of see it's kind of crowded. And
Yeah.
because of that, they're not like, really very healthy looking. While the ones which are two of them stand alone in a tomato with the tomato plant or with the pak choy, they're much more healthier. And the leaves are sweeter. I don't know why. And the rocket leaves, again, are very I was under the impression that because it's so difficult to get rocket leaves and they're very expensive, but now I've found that they grow all through summer in Delhi, in the Delhi heat. You just keep them under a shady area, and
Okay.
it's wonderful because the whole of last summer I harvested. I whenever I wanted to make a salad, I used it, and
Okay.
so now it
That's
will in fact grow much more, like in winter they're a little sparse, but in this spring season then they really start giving more leaves.
oh, interesting. All right. Oh, this is great.
And this is coriander leaves, then I have mint leaves, and in the center I have carom leaves, ajwain ka patta.
Mm.
So ajwain ka patta in the south we call it dodi patre, and we use that for making a lot of tambulis and all, which is like a raita kind of a thing. And I like to put even one or two leaves just in salads. It gives a different taste. It's
So
very
you use it raw?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Okay. Great. Oh, this
so
is
this
good.
is some of the harvest. I mean, the extreme right, you can see I have spinach and the mustard leaves, a mix of it in the basket. And this was the first radish which of the season that I got, the
Oh, this is the one?
standalone. Yeah, the
Okay.
standalone one. And you can see the cauliflower and the other radish, but the cauliflower, of course, was already harvested before I took photographs for this program, and even the capsicum. But so then I get a basket like the extreme left one. You get a little bit of carrots and tomatoes and peas and spinach or lettuce and capsicum, and then I make a mixed vegetable sabzi. So it comes out pretty good.
Nice. That's a very interesting garden you have, Sudha. I've just stopped sharing the slides. And okay, so I'm just going to say hi to Susan Verghese, who's tuned in from Kuala Lumpur, a very dear
Okay.
friend. Hi, Susan. And okay, I will check the questions later. But would you like to show the video now, or do you want to do it later? Okay, so please give me a minute. I need to start the video. And I will, oh, if I start the video, I guess I can't, I will pause when it starts, and then I will share the screen. Okay, let me just pause and I'm trying to share screen and keep the video paused. Yeah, I think I got it. Yes. So from what I can see, all your plants are in pots.
Yes, they're all in pots. I mean, on the terrace. Wow. So,
okay.
On the terrace, it's easier to, because I don't like to make raised beds or anything because, I mean, this how, waterproofing and all hasn't been done on the terrace as such. So I thought it's safer to just keep them in pots.
Yeah. Wonderful. And you have a fairly big terrace, so I guess
yes,
it helps.
Yeah. So
right?
these tomato plants have come just directly from the compost, and it's giving
Okay.
us so many tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
These are the asparagus stalks also there.
Okay.
And this is the cherry tomatoes.
Okay, so that's the end of the video.
Yeah.
That was short and oops. Okay. I think I've stopped sharing the screen. Yes, I have. All right. So that was wonderful, Sudha. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
my next question to you is: do you use any special, uh, any special ingredients or any special methods in growing? You have a beautiful terrace garden, all in pots. So if you can share these secrets with the viewers, that'd be nice.
Well, there are no secrets. We are very lucky that we are an east-facing house. So we get full sun on the terrace, and that's why the plants thrive, And the other thing is, I only use my kitchen compost. I don't buy any manure from outside or, any other manure. Sometimes I do buy vermicompost from the local nursery, but otherwise it's just the compost that we have from our kitchen waste. And we have a huge ashok tree outside our house, which at one time sheds, it's really huge, that tree, so it sheds a lot of leaves. So then some of the leaves, of course, we have to dispose, but then I use those leaves to make even the leaf compost, because leaf compost takes a little longer than the kitchen waste compost. But then between the two, then that's enough for my whole garden, upstairs, and I have some downstairs also. So I use only that. I've stopped using any. Earlier I used to get manure and things like that, but it's quite a headache. And I also realized that the manure that we get, that has, sometimes it gives more like insects, and it brings in more pests into the garden, because now I'm just using the compost from the garden. I don't, except for aphids, black aphids and white aphids and all, I don't get any other insects as such. So I then use only neem oil and soap water to spray them, and so like that's how I look after the garden. So I don't really use any other thing. It's
So
simple.
everything is in-house. Your manure is in-house.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
you
The
say we
seeds.
use the leaves. The seeds are in-house. So
Totally.
yeah, not dependent
Yeah.
on anybody or any
No.
uh,
But this, to be frank, this time I did get buy the peas and the cauliflower seeds. So,
okay.
and I did last year, I bought guarphali, the
What's that?
gorikai, gorikai,
Cluster beans, yeah.
cluster beans and French beans and cucumber, but they didn't really turn out. The seed quality, I don't know, it was on Amazon, but the seed quality was not very great. So I was quite disappointed. So, but then I had got, bitter gourd at home. One or two of them had overripe seeds. So I dried those and I put it. So that gave a few. But like I said, these vegetables, you need more quantity. Even bhindi, because if you put even 4 or 5 plants, by the time one or two of the, what are they called? Bhindis are ready to be plucked, then you say, oh, what are you going to do with 3 or 4 of them? So then you let them be. But then by the time the others are ready, these have got overripe and they're full of seed. So that's when I said, okay, fine, I'm not going to grow any of these vegetables where you need more quantity. Saag and all, like it's very easy. You just snip as much as you want and you use it. So that's more, satisfying. So
I suppose
actually,
the saag also grows pretty fast, right?
yes, very quickly,
Yeah.
very quickly. Within 2 or 3 weeks, you can harvest it, So it's much easier. And actually, I started growing, I used to grow more of ornamental plants and flowers and all earlier in the beginning. But then I started growing a few herbs and all only, when I had this one Mali who used to tell me that if you see the way they grow dhania or coriander leaves, He said, you'll never buy it in the market. So that's when I said, I mean, like, why not grow at least? But coriander is a little, especially in Delhi, it's not easy to grow it, because either it doesn't sprout or it grows and then, like it dries up very quickly because with the extremes of climate in Delhi. But when it comes, it's a joy. I mean, like, to use it.
I'm sure. Yeah,
So
I'm sure
that's
it must be very, very,
yeah.
Very satisfying, very
Yeah, it's
fulfilling
very
to do all
soul
of this,
satisfying.
right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Great
So,
for you.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So you have already given a few tips on how to use, I mean, rather how you use your, garden produce in the kitchen. Can you share something else? You mentioned something about Madras onions. What's Madras onions?
Madras onions are those tiny ones you use in sambar and things like that.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
get them, I mean, I'd got them on big basket. And
Okay.
that's when I just decided to use those because they're small and it's easy to just put them in the
Right.
soil.
Yeah.
And they came out pretty good. I mean, like
Okay.
this whole winter, I think I put them in September or something, these spring onions. And they've given me onion leaves or spring onions all through till now. So it's
Wow.
wonderful. So,
Great.
I mean, I don't use all of it at one go, but then since I put so many, so I can just keep alternating and let one plant rest while I use the other one. So that way.
And how do you use, bok choy obviously is used in Chinese cooking and rather
No,
Asian cuisine. So,
no, not necessarily. Bok choy, like if you have a lot of it, I mean, like when you keep harvesting every month or every 2 weeks, it gets a bit monotonous to have
right.
just the
Yeah, how
Chinese
much?
way.
Yeah, right.
How much of Chinese can you eat, So then the second time when I had a lot of it, I just went online and I said pak choy recipes Indian recipes. And I found this wonderful Bengali recipe, very simple with just mustard oil and panch phoran. There, that 5 masalas, which has all the 5 masalas. It's got mustard seeds, jeera, saunf, and methi dana, and one more. I forget which one. Nigella seeds, kalonji.
Okay. And it comes
So
ready-made
those
as panch phoran,
you
is
get
it?
them, yeah. You get it as a ready-made this, or you can make it at home, whatever it is. So I had that with me. So then I just put that and put some hing and put this pak choy and sauteed it. And then you get these, Bengali buddies, which are very tiny and they're made out of poppy seeds. It's called posto wadi. So I'd got that on big basket. And so I just fried a few of them and then crumbled them and I put them, after I took out the pak choy from into the bowl, I put this so it had a nice crunchy taste to it.
Okay.
So,
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never eaten bok choy in an Indian recipe.
Yes, I know. You can try it next time.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Okay.
And, so even the carrot leaves, I mean, most people, when you get carrots from the market, they never give it to you with the leaves.
Right.
But the tender carrot leaves, I just take all of them and I make it the South Indian way with just coconut, freshly grated coconut, and the mustard and curry leaf tadka. And I put about half a cup of moong dal with it. So it's like, I mean, there is
Soaked moong dal or?
Yeah, soaked for about 3-4 hours. So there's sabzi in Karnataka, at least we call it markwadi palya. And so that's used with French beans and all that. But I made it something like that with this. And it came out very nice. And I've used the carrot leaves even for putting in dal. It tastes really nice. I mean, don't put too much if you find that this taste is overbearing, but it just gives enough and you feel that you've used the leaves.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
The radish leaves, again, in the north, they always make sabzi with the muli ka patta. So like, I mean, you use the leaves and maybe one radish and more potatoes and garlic and green chilies. And just make the sabzi. It tastes very nice. So,
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of recipes also, I think, in your.
Thanks to, I mean, the internet now, you don't have to, I mean, like, you know, earlier we
Yeah,
used to have recipe books and you look up the books and all, but now you don't really, you just need to Google and
right.
you'll get the
That's
recipes.
that's so
So,
true.
yeah.
But yeah, you do have a lot of them, I think, with you, and it's nice that you're
I
experimenting.
like cooking also, so I keep
Ah,
experimenting, and
yeah,
especially different tastes, you know. So, I
right.
mean, and I have, I mean, a very good friend who makes Bengali food, and I mean, another, I mean, she makes Kashmiri also, but I also have a Kashmiri friend. So I think I was born either a Kashmiri or a Bengali last in my last life, because I love Kashmiri and Bengali food. So
Okay.
then I try and, you know, because they're very simple. That's what I like about, no grinding masalas and this. The Kashmiri Pandit cooking is very simple, and even the Bengali vegetables are really very simply made, because then
Okay.
you really actually get the flavor of the vegetables.
Right.
So that's what. So like
Wow.
today, I'd made this raw pumpkin sabzi, and another one with the onion bulbs. You know, you get the spring onion, start giving these bulbs with flowers on it. So those bulbs I'd had at my friend's house, and it's a very simple sabzi, because all you need is potatoes thinly sliced and mustard oil and nigella seeds, nothing else. But it's the simplicity, and then you add the spring onion, the bulbs, right at the end, and you know, you just have that with hot rice, and it's really fantastic.
Okay. You're
So
making,
that's it.
I think you're making everyone's mouth water now with all those yummy recipes.
So that's what.
That
So
sounded
yeah.
fantastic, Sudha. Thank you so much for sharing all this information. Let me see if, yes, so Susan Verghese does have a question. Do these plants need some shade like arugula and rocket? I mean, arugula rocket leaves, that is. Does it need some
They
shade?
need shade in Delhi in summer. I
Okay.
kept them in under a, I mean, staircase. But in winter, the more sun they get, the better it is. And they've survived. I mean, like all, we had a very bad winter this year in Delhi. They were out in the terrace. Nothing happened to them.
Oh,
So they, I
okay.
mean, so nothing. They're quite hardy. You know, I was very surprised, and I'm also really surprised why it's not grown more, you know, profusely in like now you get broccoli and things like that. We should be able to get arugula leaves, but you go to the market to get arugula leaves, they're very expensive.
Right.
So I mean, and here you just take as many as you want from your garden, and you can make a salad. So that's what. So I mean, it's just that the first time you have to invest in the seeds.
Right.
After that, I just, I mean, let it flower, one or two of them, and the seeds come out. I take those seeds, and these plants this time was from the seeds I had, I mean, the plants I had earlier. So
Okay.
I'd saved the seeds in summer, saying that, you know, whenever they flower and they give seeds, I save it so that if in case it dies out or something, I should have the seeds. So
Right.
I do that with Italian basil and with arugula. And,
Okay.
you know, so then there's no problem. I mean, you always have I mean, stock of seeds with you and use those seeds. So, and the thing is that the seeds that we keep at home, they're all absolutely kind of organic, because they had no pesticides and all. If you buy
Right.
the seeds from the market, you'll see on the packets it's written it's poisonous. Don't consume these seeds. And they use, I don't know what poison to, or what to preserve those seeds, or I don't know what they use, but it's so that is what got me thinking that if I can get the seeds either from the fruit itself, you know, or from harvesting, I mean, letting one or two of them go to seed and getting the seeds. So that's what.
Sounds absolutely wonderful, Sudha, and you're doing an amazing job, I think, with your garden and also with your cooking, of course, and your experimental cooking and daily cooking. So, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge and your garden with the viewers. I don't see any more questions here. So I guess we will say bye-bye to the viewers, and thank you, viewers, for joining
Thank
in.
you.
And if for some reason you haven't been able to watch us live, you can always watch the recording later. Thank you so much. And Sudha, once again, thank you so much for coming on my show. And
Oh, it's my pleasure entirely. I enjoyed
yeah,
it.
thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.